Okay, just a quick video on prereqs and money, which is always an important topic. Came up to me when a friend of mine, I was floating actually, and I don't know why I was floating. Honestly, it was my third in a row, and my patients loved me. Actually, my friend had my group, and I was like, wasn't that an easy group? She's like, oh my god, it was the best group. I was done charting the night before at 11, finished everything. You know, then I was floated to COVID land. So I was just like, what? Where did that come from? So anyway, I was talking to one of the nurses in COVID land that she had gone through to a college my daughter's actually applying to. She applied to, actually. I think she's pretty much accepted. I think they're just waiting on the recommendation on one professor. She already got one in, so they're waiting for the other one. Get those in order too. Let's talk about that for a few seconds. Be polite, be respectful to your professors and coworkers, whatever. Besides just being part of human nature and being, decent, you need recommendations. You need a couple recommendations. And there's usually a format, so don't worry about that. And they're used to it. I've written already a couple of recommendations. I've been reference for a couple of people, so it's normal. The college that my coworker was going to, she gave me a little tea on it, so I in turn gave it to my daughter. Also, she actually did not have a good experience with it. But it's a very expensive school. Thankfully, my daughter's only going for a year and a half, so it's a cap cost. But for her, it was 4 years of that, or it would have been 4 years of that. She also went to community college, like I did, but not for nursing. She did it for her prereqs, and I strongly suggest doing that. It's much cheaper. I mean, for my alma mater and what it costs for my ADM program, the differential, one credit for my alma mater was basically, I think, half a semester of my nursing program. And I actually paid higher for my community college nursing program because I wasn't technically a resident of that county. I'm the next county over, but I wanted to go to that program because it was very competitive and still great bang for a buck, and it actually was an easier drive than the one in my home county. So even with that, I mean, the differential in cost, that's what you're looking at. 1/16 of the cost, 1/8 of the cost, that's about average. So think about that. That's a number one option. Reason is money. Second reason is, and no offense to, I went to community college. It's an easier program. Those are easier programs. I'm not gonna be shy about that. I went to it, so I'm criticizing my own thing. The nursing programs were just as difficult, in my opinion. They were very rigorous because there is a national testing, NCLEX. You still have to pass NCLEX. The college prereqs, though, tended to be easier, not as rigorous. But then again, I went to a high-end college university for my BA, comparatively. So, I mean, you can't. I mean, that's part of the reason why it's more expensive. But it's easier. I mean, let's just, so to at least get your feet wet. Well, that's not good. To at least get your feet wet and get back into studying mode, back into school mode, it's easier to kind of ease yourself into it. I would strongly suggest the community colleges getting your prereqs there. Now, I will caveat that, though, by saying be careful how your nursing program accepts those credits. The nursing program I went to only transferred credits if they transferred it at all. Sometimes, yeah, I think, now and then they would not. They say, no, it's not the quite bio that we want. It's not quite the chem we want. Whatever. They only transferred as a C. Didn't matter if you had an A and an A plus, whatever. So I took all my prereqs with them, so it didn't matter. I had a nice average going in. It was a shoe-in, but I had friends that came in. They're like, oh yeah, I even though I got an A at this university, the program only transferred to a C, so my grade point average going in, right, was whatever. And I was like, oh wow, that's not fair. But once you're into the program, it doesn't matter. That those grade point averages melt away. You're now only considered what your program. At least that's what my school did. So don't worry, it won't affect you. It won't affect honor roll, whatever. It didn't help. Actually, I would have preferred it. It would have put me even higher, but I was already high anyway. It didn't matter. So be careful when you transfer these credits, whether or not it will hurt you. It might hurt your average. If it doesn't really matter, like you have enough of a grade point average and it doesn't ping you so much, that's fine. In my experience, when I've talked to the professors, I've talked to the program chairs, actually, it just so happened, it's funny, our chair became one of our night educators at the hospital. She, I chatted with her a little bit. I think it's more the borderline cases that they really apply those hard rules for. Now, that's, again, my program. I don't know about the next program. I don't know about the 4-year programs. I don't know about the master's programs. Every program is different. I can only speak for the program that I was in. But I have to think that they are, by and large, the majority of their thought process is going to be about the same. We're all producing nurses. Some might be producing better nurses on average. Some might be producing lesser nurses on average. I like to think that it also depends on the individual. You can be a great individual student and potential nurse and go to a crappy program but still become a good nurse. And vice versa. You can go to a great program and somehow get in, but if you don't apply yourself, you don't do it diligently, you can be a crappy nurse. So, it really, in the end, depends more on you, because once you're out, once you have your license, you're equal. You're part, like I said in the other video, you're one of us now. You're a tribe. Don't embarrass us, and try to improve yourself and protect your license, protect yourself, protect your patients. That's always the thing. I had an issue. It just triggered me on a patient that I had that, she was really aggressive, violent, and whatever, and she kept thinking we weren't, helping her or whatever. She was with it. It's just, she had issues, and finally I was able to convince her and show her. I said, no, I'm here for you. You're my advocate. I fought with the doctors. I fought with the providers for her, even though she was nasty to me. She apologized. She's like, I am so sorry. I was, a lot of words she used. She's like, that's me. I'm really sorry, Ray. And I said, no, it's okay. You're in a bad spot. I understand that, but I don't want you to think I'm here sipping tea or coffee and hang out at the nurse's station. That's not me. I don't do that. And I showed her, take a look at your chart. You now have access, patients have access to their charts. This is what I did. I wrote a long essay, and she's like, wow. And I was like, yeah, that's what I have to do. I'm a patient. This is what I do. I treat them like, I said this in previous videos, I treat my patients like my kids. I'm very paternal to them, and this is how I fight. This is what I have to do. I hope you guys do the same way. This video kind of went off the rails a little bit, but it was really for, suggesting to do prereqs in a cheaper setting. One, to ease you into the programs and into the learning mode again. Also, just to conserve your wallet. Everybody out there, I'm sure, it is an issue, especially the older ones, because you have families or debts or whatever, and you're doing this on the side, or you have to tread lightly and do it within a budget. It may or may not be easier for you to get loans. You know, I know some people say I didn't have any loans. I had to do it all hard way, Ray, and you know it's unfortunate. You know, I see a lot of single parents out there undergoing this. I don't know why it is, but I guess we're just masochists and all. I'm not sure I'm going to post this. This is already past 10 minutes, so I'm not sure. I might reshoot it. Okay, goodbye.